Oh, I'm finally back making the odd videos. It's been a busy few months for me. We've had some family health problems, no, WOI, to deal with, and I've kind of committed myself to doing a lot of infrastructure work. You know, I built the gym, I'm building a new shed on the allotment, and doing a lot of tidy up and reorganisation and things like that, and I just sort of occupied a lot of my time. And it's very windy, and I've been ill for the last month as well, just to cap it all. So anyway, there's been a lot going on, so I've finally got around to making a video. Everything's looking a little bit scrappy, but it always is at this time of year. You know, I just get a bit sort of tired of gardening, having done it, you know, all year round. And you know, April and May are very busy in life and in gardening, so yeah, I get a bit exhausted by it all, and now I'm just sort of in that rest mode, in gardening wise, rest mode, and allotment infrastructure wise, busy mode. So I thought I'd just quickly kind of give you a quick skim around the garden, all the strawberries and everything on the little strawberry run. They're looking really nice, and we're happy with those, eating those every day. And the rest of the garden's looking, yeah, it's looking reasonable. As good as an hour a week can make it. And the greenhouse is looking pretty good. I did a lot of experiments this year. I'm going to run you through them so you can see how well they've done. I am going to start probably with the scrappiest bits, which is the cucumbers. So these cucumbers have been fruiting since the end of April now. They're pretty tired plants. They've got a bit of spider mite. It's not too bad though, it's not really affecting them too much. This one's got the spider mite, that one doesn't seem to have it. But as you can see, like, all the leaves are poor quality now, the plants are tired, they're diseased. As with all cucumbers pretty much, especially these little ones, by this time, you know, because they've been growing since February, something like that, you know, they're old, they're tired, and they're about to be composted. And we're about to switch over to the plants on the allotment, which have got little cucumbers about this big. So these have really only got 1 or 2 weeks worth of fruits left in them. And then I'll recondition the compost and get new plants sown to replace them for a kind of harvesting later on in the year, in October sort of time. But I did think, because we had that cold spell, you know, when we were sort of down at 9 to 10 degrees for a week or so, I did think that they would stop at that point, but they've kind of gone crazy again, and there's loads of fruits on them now. You know, I can just see all these fruits, some of them a bit too big, but to be honest, the grandkids don't mind. Like, even if you give them a cucumber like that size, they'll munch the way through it. So, yeah, I mean, it's not too bad, is it? I mean, I only picked them a few days ago, but, you know, already, you know, there's a good handful on there. And basically we've been picking this sort of amount that I'm picking now every couple of days since April. Oh, you can really see the red spider mite up there. Actually, I'll take a photograph of that so you can see it in all of its glory. I'll probably take this plant out now, actually, when I see how much spider mite there is on there. There's nothing on this one, but and it just shows you probably, you know, that even though these are almost next to each other, that one I think came from the conservatory, and that one's been in the greenhouse. This one's been a little bit more stressed than this one, and the result perhaps of that stress is succumbing to spider mite. It's crawling. Right, anyway, let me get rid of those. Right, so next, the aubergines. So last year was my first year growing aubergines. I had no idea what I was doing. I still really don't have very much idea what I'm doing. But, you know, you learn, don't you, over the years. And this year, the aubergines looking pretty nice. I mean, at this point last year, I think I'd basically left them up on one of the shelves. They were just in little pots. They were about that big. Well, this year, they're much bigger. They are in flower. I don't know whether I've got any fruit set on them. I don't think I've got any fruit set yet. Some people have said, well, you should really pollinate them by hand. And I will do that if I really have to, but as a general rule, I don't fuss over my plants very much, so I don't generally do a lot of hand pollinating. I will do a little bit, and things like melons and things like that, but not very often. So anyway, they're looking pretty good. I'm quite pleased with those. Some of them are quite mighty plants at this point. The melons I was really pleased with, because they're kind of, you know, quite substantial plants, lots of flowers on them, and they were way ahead of the ones on the allotment. But actually now the ones on the allotment are pretty much caught up. So as an experiment in kind of like early melons, the greenhouse hasn't really proved to be very much better than the allotment. I think because I can't keep this greenhouse probably warm enough for melons, you know, they probably want it about 16 degrees. I keep this greenhouse more at tomato temperature, so more at 10 to 12 degrees, only for April and May. And so the tomatoes are romping away, but the melons, you know, they didn't do fantastically. And as a result, you know, basically just wait until it gets to sort of 16 degrees most of the time. And then the allotment ones and the greenhouse ones kind of rocket away. So whether it's really worth growing melons in the greenhouse, I don't know. I'll have to reserve judgment on that and see what I decide to do next year. But the cucumbers, anyway, they've been fantastic. You know, hundreds and hundreds of cucumbers. And I would say that just the cucumber harvest this year has paid for all the heating in the greenhouse over winter and in April and May. In winter, I just keep the greenhouse frost-free. So the peppers, again, I can't keep really, well, I could, obviously, if I was prepared to pay like massive amounts of money, keep the greenhouse above about 12 degrees. At 12 degrees, it's pretty cost effective. But at 16, which is what the peppers would really like, it's just that little bit too much. So there are a few peppers on here. They're not particularly fantastic, but they are earlier than the ones on the allotment. And I won't go into the details about the ones on the allotment because I'll save that probably for the tour on the allotment when I get around to that. But suffice it to say, they didn't quite go to plan. So I'm quite pleased that I've got these few in here. I haven't given them pride of place because I know from past experience that, you know, peppers don't respond fantastically well in this greenhouse. But they're okay, as I say. Lots of little fruits on them. Plants are reasonable size. Bit crammed in, a little bit of shade, but they're doing okay. The strawberries actually have been great. The star of the show, as always, are the Mara de Bois. They're just such a lovely tasting one, and they just keep on giving. But the Sweetheart are pretty good as well. The Seascape, they weren't that great really. You know, they're kind of really bulled up as being such a great season extension strawberry. And that was not kind of my experience. I'm tasting some now. They're okay, but they're not brilliant. And they weren't brilliant early on in April sort of time when I started harvesting them. You know, they were early, but they were watery, they were mushy. Just not that great really. Whereas the Mara de Bois and the Sweetheart, although they were a couple of weeks later, they tasted so much better earlier on. So, yeah, I mean, they're okay now, but not great. So let's have a look at the tomatoes. I grow lots of different tomatoes this year in here because I use these as my stock plants. I took side shoots off them back in April and rooted those side shoots, and those are the plants that are growing in the greenhouse in the polytunnel on the allotment at the moment. So I only sowed one batch of tomato seeds in February this year. Everything else was rooted from side shoots, and my late plants, which will go in here after these plants have been composted, so sort of late July, August time, those plants will be rooted either off these plants or off the polytunnel plants. So it's very cost effective and it's really easy to do. So I'll stop munching strawberries, try and resist one that's in my hand. So I thought I'd just run through the different tomato varieties that I've got in here and how they're going. And I'll start down here actually with this one, which has been the earliest of all of them, which is the Mastocca. It's a great plant. Look at that. Look at that massive side shoot that I've just forgotten to take off. Anyway, but it's a very unruly plant. It's flopping all over the place, but it's really early. You know, there's really lovely tomatoes on it, but I'm not sure that I'll grow it again because although it's early, it's only back a week earlier than the rest, and it's just not very compact. It just doesn't suit a greenhouse very well. Now, admittedly, it is in the sort of shadiest corner, but anyway, I mean, it's got a reasonable number of fruits on it. It's pretty good. It's possible that I'll grow it again, but anyway, I don't like the unruliness of it. The tomatoes are reasonable, they're not brilliant, but there's quite a lot of them, and they're the earliest. So let's just move up to this level and we'll look at these hanging basket ones. So these are the Tumbling Tom Yellows. These have been pretty good. These are the second batch basically to fruit, second earliest to fruit. They're slightly tough, slightly thick-skinned, but they're acceptable. And of course the real benefit of these is take up almost no room because they're just in the hanging baskets. They look really nice. They do need watering every day. That's the sort of slight downside. But masses and masses of fruit. The red profusion, yeah, there's a few of these ripe now. You know, we're picking them, obviously. We've been picking them for a couple of weeks. So you won't see like loads of them being ripe because as soon as they're ripe, I pick them. But yeah, I mean, there's, you know, 2 or 3 a day at this point. But again, loads and loads of fruit. I think better tasting than the Tumbling Tom Yellows. And I've got another one here that is also red profusion, and another one here and that is Tumbling Tom. So they're pretty good, and not quite enough there to keep us in tomatoes for a week with those 5 hanging baskets. I normally have 6 actually, but for whatever reason I didn't have 6 this year. But the main downside of these is in hanging baskets, in a greenhouse, really hard to keep up with the watering unless you're here every day and every day you water. So that's those. So in the containers, I've got Sun Gold here, and I think I've got Honeycomb here. These I'm really pleased with because I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 trusses, all with tomatoes on them, all good sized, all pretty close to ripening. As I said, the bottom ones, obviously there's maybe 30% ripe, the second truss maybe 20% ripe, the third truss, you know, will probably start ripening next week. Similar sort of story on this side. Actually, that might be sweet aperitif, having said all that, on this side. Anyway, similar sort of story. Again, 1 truss, 2 trusses, 3 trusses, 4 trusses, 5 trusses, 6 trusses, 7 trusses. 6 trusses have got good sized tomatoes on them. Really nice big trusses though, really good. Slightly behind the Sun Gold. These taste the best. Sun Gold, everybody says like Sun Gold's the best tasting. They are. They're split though. I haven't eaten enough off this plant yet, if this is the sweet aperitif. Haven't eaten enough of those to know how frequently those split or how easily those split. Down here, I've got the yellow pear and tiny little trusses. I mean, reasonably good again, so I won't count them, but 6 or 7 trusses on there. These are Santonio, quite a way behind, to be honest. They've still got maybe 6 trusses on them, but the truss sizes are a lot smaller than the Sun Gold and the Sweet Aperitif. The Nagina starting to ripen actually, so I'm pretty pleased with that actually, because they're a decent sized plum variety. Only one of those with a bit of blossom end rot there. And then the Black Moon and whatever that one is out there, I can't remember now, but I'll put it on the overlay. I've got those outside because really I don't have enough space for all of them in here. I grew them primarily just for the side shoots for the polytunnel plants, and then once I'd finished with those I put them out. But I mean, they're doing really well, they're still alive, they're ripening up really nicely, and that is it. So that's kind of what's going on, I think, in here, apart from just a few bits and pieces really on the benches. We've got a few tomatoes, nothing much really needs to be in here at this point. Just got a few flowers, a few golden purslane, a few beetroot, a few leeks, a few colettes, and got quite a few things out on my bench there, just hardening off. These, to be honest, could also go out on the bench for hardening off, but they haven't, just because it's been so rainy and so windy that they kind of would just get soaked. So I've kept them in here. So lots going to change in this greenhouse fairly soon. As I said, a lot of these things will get composted as soon as the polytunnel plants are ready. That's sort of 6 weeks away probably. And at that point, all this kind of gets replanted for autumn. And some of this gets tidied away, and the outdoor seating sort of area here moves into the greenhouse for autumn, which is a new thing for this year. But we realise that it's nicer to have seating space in here rather than just veggies all the way through winter. It's a much better use of the space, and things don't grow very much in winter, so but it's nice to get sort of fresh air and sunshine. So with that, oh yeah, I should say, anybody who thought I died or was seriously ill in hospital or something like that, if you'd subscribed to my newsletter, which you can find at steverichards.substack.com, you would have known that I've been happily gardening away through this sort of busy period of time. I've done a lot on the allotment, got a lot growing on the allotment, a lot growing on Debbie's plot, lots in the kitchen garden, lots in the front garden. And yeah, we're still living the good life. My name's Steve. This is the Outgrow channel, and I'll see you soon.